All right, thank you so much for coming to Scott's Celebration of Life today. My name is Steve Hickson, and I'm going to be your MC. So I think a lot of you have already noticed we have a lot of Scott's memorabilia and photos and stuff over here. So feel free to take a look. And also downstairs, the main floor, there's some tables with a bunch of Scott's own music and a bunch of records and CDs and 45s as well. So please take what you want, go through it, because he would want all of you to have this. And whatever you don't take, I have to put in boxes and take home with me and take to the car and take them out of the car, and they're heavy. And so do me a solid, that would be great. Also, we're going to have amazing music here, thanks to these gentlemen, throughout the afternoon. But if you need some quieter time or just want to chat with somebody, feel free to go down to the main level as well. That's just don't go on the rink. Go anywhere except the rink, right? Because that would just be crazy. So I just want to say a few words about Scott. So again, thank you for joining us today to celebrate Scott's life. Today, we're going to reflect on his life through poetry, music, photos, and conversation. Although we are all obviously saddened by his passing, remember that he suffered with personal demons for many years, and now that suffering is over. I've known Scott since the early 90s, and I met him through his sister, Kristen. Kristen, give a woohoo. There you are. We had countless great times together, but I don't really want to use this time just to share my stories with him. I'd rather talk about something guys aren't really supposed to talk about, and that's how I felt around him and probably how all of you felt when we spent time with him. And it's not long, don't worry. First and foremost, Scott's kindness made you feel like you can totally be yourself. The best friends we have in our lives are the ones that allow you to turn off all those filters and just be you. That's a quality that can be hard to find in other people, even in some of our friends. Scott had that, and it's one of the reasons why we all loved him. And a side effect of making you feel like you can totally be yourself, and I mean side effect in the rare positive sense, is that you feel happy. Not the, wow, that pie was so good kind of happy, but a deeper happiness that makes you want to come back for more. Knowing you were going to see Scott created a happiness anticipation effect. That'd be actually a good name for an album. And he always followed through, making you look forward to the next time that you'd see him. So when you feel like you can totally be yourself with the happiness that comes from that sensation, you're left with a feeling that can be very hard to find in others, and that's peace. Peace in the world and peace in yourself. Scott brought peace to everyone he met. Not many people can do that. He made the world a better place by being in it, and I'm sure somehow he'll find a way to make the afterlife a better place as well. So as some of you may know, Scott was a huge Prince fan. And actually, I bet they're hanging out right now in the afterlife while Scott asks them a million questions about his recording techniques. Prince is probably like, I gotta go visit John Lennon. So I can think of no better way to kick off this celebration of life than to quote one of Prince's best songs. Raise your hand if you think you know what I'm going to say. Well, of course you know. That's my wife, Tina. Thanks, Tina. Okay. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you there's something else. The afterworld. A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun, day or night. So congratulations, Scott. You made it. We just wish you would have waited just a little longer because you were the kind of person that always made us see the sun, day or night. So now I'd like to introduce Jean and Ken.
Didn't like the order.
This is some sage I learned, and I did do a smudge around the room earlier just to take away any evil thoughts or any negative rememberings that might have been left in the room. But I'm going to smudge Scott's guitar, and this is in keeping, I need your hand. Thank you. In keeping with his native heritage. which probably not too many of you knew about. And so we welcome Scott Spirit into the room, and we ask him to come and stay right by his guitar as the afternoon unfolds. And thank you all so much for, oh, sorry, I'm not drunk. Still dealing with this bad right leg. I want to thank you all so much for coming. A few faces I don't know, but hopefully we'll get to meet you as the, thank you, as the afternoon goes on. Please stay as long as you can. We're going to be here till after 4 o'clock. But if you have to go, then please feel free to do so at any time.
I really like to thank you, all the faces that have come. I mean, some of you I didn't know, most of you I do know, and it's just a real treat for you to be here, I hope, and it's a real treat for us to have you be here with us. We're hoping that today, the next 2 or 3 hours, will be a good celebration of Scott's life as such. And if you need anything, give me a holler or tap my daughter on the back or her partner, they can help you out. Anyway, I'm going to introduce these dudes here.
All right, so now I'd like to introduce what we've called the Peace and Love Band. This is Joey, Kevin, and Edwin, and as you can see, all of us dressed as in our formal attire today because we're honoring Scott, so we want to dress as good as we can. Actually, those are Scott shirts.
These are Scott shirts. We came in here yesterday, we did a little rehearsal, and there was 3 shirts on the wall, and you can see this little light bulb go above Gene's head.
So you waited for Gene to not look, and then you grabbed
Actually, Gene had this little light bulb. I saw it. He's like, hey, I have an idea. Why don't you all wear Scott's attire? And we were like, you know what? It makes sense because we are the Peace and Love Band.
Yeah. So Joey, you've known Scott since Fanshawe, and same with Edwin?
Yeah. There's actually a really nice story because I was a real hippie. I had the hair, I did the whole thing, and all of a sudden it was like 2 peas in the pod. I saw Scott, and I said, hey, brother man. He goes, hey, brother man. And instantly, friends like that.
Did you say was a real hippie?
Was, is, always will be. Okay. Yes. Okay, folks. Scott was a great guy. I got to say, he pulled out so much of my artistic self back in the day, and he had so much faith in me. And every time he was around me, he had this big, crazy smile. He was like, hey, man, you know, it was amazing. So there is a story behind this first song we're going to do. It's called Watching Scotty Grow. And Ken and Gene ended up bringing Scott to the Western Fairgrounds. Is that right? And there's an artist named Bobby Goldsboro, and he had this song, and they knew the song. They're like, Scott, this song was written for you. And all of a sudden he's a little kid, and it just, his face lit up, and he was just, that was his song for his whole life. He'd go home for dinner and this and that. Hey, can you put on Bobby? You know? So we're going to start off with a song called Watching Scotty Grow. There he sits with the pen and yellow pad. Oh, the hands-on line, that's my boy. BRLF2 spells mom and dad. That ain't too bad, that's my boy. You can have your TV and your nightclubs. You can have your drive-in picture show. I'll stay here with my little man here, we'll listen to the radio. Biding my time watching Scotty grow. A castle out of building blocks in a cardboard box, that's my boy. Mickey Mouse says it's 13 o'clock. Well, that's quite a shock, that's my boy. In 4 short years I've gone from rags to riches, and what I did before that I don't know. So let it rain on my window pane, I got my own rainbow, sitting here shining, watching Scotty grow. Right now Daddy's shoulders off to bed, old sleepy head, that's my boy. Got to have a drink of water and a story read, teddy bear named Fred, that's my boy. What's that you say, mama? Come on and keep your feet warm. Well, save me a place, I'll be there in a minute or so. I think I'll stay right here and say a little prayer before I go. Me and God watching Scotty grow. Me and God watching Scotty grow. I think I'll stay right here and say a little prayer before I go. Me and God watching Scotty grow. For Scotty. You know Scott's spirit's in here right now going, right on, man, it's my song, you know? Anyways, so what we did, Scott had a project called Chemical Orchestra. I'm sure some of you are familiar, maybe not everyone, but he had a discography of like thousands of songs. So what we did was we took 3 of his songs and made a instrumental medley of them for you all. And yeah, we're gonna share it. So it's Jedi Mind Trick, Into I Am at Western, and the last one being Acid Party Girl. Is that right? Okay, so. Don't do that, it's a Jedi mind trick. Don't do that, it's the Jedi mind trick. Don't do that, it's the Jedi mind trick. Don't do that, it's the Jedi mind trick. We got a little. Scott loved disco music, so we got a little disco in here for him. Here we go. Here we go. Scott also liked his atmosphere, so we threw a little bit of that in there too, a little sprinkle, you know. So I did an album with Scott years ago, 20 years ago now. I feel very young. And when that album happened, he had this whole orchestra on this. The album was done, except he's like, dude, I think what you're doing is really cool, your avant-garde stuff, so why don't you just, I'm gonna take your first take. So I didn't get any chance to do it twice. He's like, whatever I did the first time, he threw all over this album. And it put a lot of pressure on me, but it was a lot of fun, so thank you, Scott. This is a song called Stand By Me. And if anyone feels if they just feel inside of them where they want to sing along and just, go for it, because this is for Scotty, and this is also to release any tension and stress in anyone. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, oh, the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. So how this band came together, we actually, Scott's last month here on this earth, we heard that he wasn't doing too well. So the three of us went to see him, and we talked about music and just had a great time. And the last time that we actually got to see Scott, we came up with this idea of just kind of bringing a bunch of instruments around and playing some music for him while he was, resting. And it just seemed like the right thing to do. And Ken and Gene were like, you know what, this is very special, and we'd love for you guys to come down and perform for everyone. So, thank you so much, Gene and Ken, for having us to be able to honor our good friend Scott.
Dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Mama put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door.
Thanks, folks. Before we finish off this little set here, so we played all these songs to Scott, and they were all cover tunes, all tunes that we knew he loved. We didn't even know how to play them. We were just like, okay, let's try this out, So this was actually a pretty big preparation to make even this happen. So, anyways, I played one song that I wrote, and Ken and Gene were like, you know what, I'd really like for you to play that. And it was just to, just pass it on. So this is, for the last song of this set, this is called Little Man. This is a song I wrote.
can't believe it with my own two eyes. I'm 40 now and been through so much, but it's all worth living for. When you make it through another door. Third grade, my parents left each other. Sister went with mom, and I went with dad. How would life have changed if we both went the other way? Dad was above the leader of his clan. Mom was working retail, looking for a new man. It was tough out there in the real world when you're on your own. This was one of my first crossroads as a little man. Who would have thought that they would not last till the end of time? Who would have known? When I was 5, I was alive and running around, playing with my friends on the next street over. Was my sister's birthday. Felt like summer on October 1st. On my buddy's lawn in his quiet neighborhood, we threw a ball around till it went straight over. Across the street I ran without looking the other way. Focused on the radio as he drove his vehicle. Barreling down the street was a man in a hurry, made me fly through the air. Was in a coma till I came around. This was one of my first crossroads as a little man. Who would have thought that I would have left and defeated time? Who would have known? You can see from my past history, a lot of learning has been done. Every single person on earth will learn from every other one. Every day you can find your way to your higher self if you let it. Jump right in and redeem yourself from the way you lived years before. Live without regret is what I keep trying to tell myself. Know that times will change along with friends and the scenery. That's all part of your journey. So get ready for another ride. Whenever there's a breakup, don't dwell on what wasn't meant to be. Go on many dates and see what works for you till you find your way and feel comfort with that special one. Be a better friend and fumble as you become yourself. A better time than now to be the best that you can be, 'cause life will pass you by. Was it worth it only to survive? Every day you can find your way to your higher self if you let it. Jump right in and redeem yourself from the way you lived days before. I can't believe it with my own two eyes. I'm 40 now and been through so much, but it's all worth living for. When you make it through another door. Thank you, folks. We're going to take a little break.
All right, so we have a couple more speakers who's going to come up, say a few words. But first, Jean, after she's done hugging, Jean's going to come up and introduce some of Scott's family.
Hello, everyone.
see if you can find a chair. And there are some extra ones up against this back wall. Feel free to take those out. I wanted to introduce you to my family. And this is, you have to come up here. This is my brother Jim, who is 3 years younger than I am.
Little taller.
I was the oldest and the bossiest, and he'll tell you I was. And then there's Greg, who lives in California, and his spirit is with us today. Mike, who lives in Oshawa, yeah. And my sister Pat over here, came from Bancroft today. And cousin of Scott, Chris, son to Jim. We have three, many of you who have heard me in the past talk about the twins and Nicholas, and it was always the twins and Nicholas. And the twins and Nicholas have been caught on the 401 for a very long time and may indeed haven't gone home because the 401 is blocked, unfortunately. They may still arrive, hopefully. They are three musicians, and they're on the program for a bit later, so hopefully they will arrive in time. I just want to thank so many of you. I'm seeing just a sea of faces of people that I haven't seen for years and years, some that I don't know, some that have been involved with me for the last 15 and 20 years. I just really want to thank all of you for coming today. And I should not forget to introduce my daughter.
Best for last.
Yeah, the best for last. This is Kristen. And Mike, where's Mike? Hands up at the back. That's her partner from Vancouver. So they've been in for a few days. Here comes some more 401 travelers. So I'm glad that they got here from Guelph. So I think Kristen is going to speak now. Thanks.
As you know, I'm Kristen. I'm Scott's sister. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my brother when he was young. Not for too long, but just for a short bit. I'm going to share some stories about my brother that kind of illustrate a bit you might know him today as, liking animals and all these things that, people who know him will know. But I'm going to tell you some earlier stories from when he was younger that people might not know that illustrate who he is. And I just want to let you know the pictures don't coincide, but feel free to get lost in looking at the pictures if you want to, too. My brother Scott was born to loving and kind and gentle parents, Jean and Ken Walmsley, and to me, his sister, on February 10th, 1973. And before he died, I had a conversation with him about the happiest day of his life. And he was talking about Christmas when he got a Millennium Falcon, which there's a picture of it here behind Sonia. And there's even a note from Santa saying that he received Scott's request for the Millennium Falcon, and he will try to make good on that. So anyone who knows my dad knows that my dad loves to do projects. And so I think my dad was as excited to put together this Millennium Falcon as my brother was. And they stayed up half the night putting this together. I think he said that he was so happy because it was so big and had so many pieces, and him and my dad could not stop smiling together. And he realized he was really excited about decals. He told me, those are just really stickers, but they're awesome because they go in a specific place, and Dad is figuring it all out. So he was really happy because my dad was so happy as well working on this project. So my brother really loved science fiction. He loved Star Wars, The Black Hole, Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica. He also really liked Indiana Jones movies. So anyone who knows my brother knows that he's seriously all about Star Wars for sure. And anyone who knows my brother knew that he loved collecting stuff. Later in his life, he collected CDs, records, tapes. Early on, he collected cars, but his real love was collecting Star Wars figures. And so my mom would go out to the garden and she would see like the entire moon of Endor set up with Star Wars figures, full on bases in the garden under beetroots and carrot tops. So yeah, my brother loved playing outside, and he also really loved drawing. And I put some drawings over here of all kinds of stuff that he did when he was a kid, which were related to science fiction mostly. And my brother, he really liked drawing later on in life too, because he liked to design all of his own album covers. But when he was a kid, he really liked doing flip books, which are those little animation books where you just do little scenes and then you flip them so they look like they're animated. So he did tons of Star Wars animation flip books and ninjas battling. I remember flip books all the time, pretty exciting. He actually went to an animation day camp at the Vancouver Art Gallery in the summer, and yeah, where he made some animated videos too, which were like Atari video games. This is bringing everyone back, probably. I think he did that with his friend Anthony Keegan, but I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Some of you may know I'm an early childhood educator, and so I really like to watch children play, and I like to watch them draw just to see how they're creating meaning. Also, I just like to see how people are trying to figure out what's going on in the world by playing it. It's part of the funnest things, one of the funnest things in my job. So when I remember some of the stuff that my brother played, I remember him trying to make sense of things, like sense of things that he saw. And one of the things I remember we had long discussions about was when we left The Empire Strikes Back, my brother was like, oh my God, like Luke Skywalker was Darth Vader's son, and he cut off his own son's hand. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense, right? Anyone who knows Empire Strikes Back knows that, like, you leave that film and you're like, oh my God, I'm totally blown away. Anyway, it's interesting to see all of his drawings trying to make sense of, like, why would Darth Vader do that? I digress, though. Yeah. I guess I want to illustrate, like, what kind of attention to detail my brother had. And anyone who knows him with his music knows that he had extreme attention to detail. And so he had the same attention to detail when he would be watching things, putting together this Millennium Falcon, or just playing out in the backyard, setting up for stories around play. So yeah, he had a great imagination, and as a child, he had a lot of energy for play. He loved to dress up, and this was at a time when you just couldn't run to the store and buy your own lightsaber. So he would, try and find stuff in the garbage that looked like a lightsaber, long plastic tubes, and him and his friend Doug would battle it out. And yeah, I guess I just wanted to tell you one day in particular that reflects his energy for play and his imagination and his attention to detail. I think on that board over there might be a picture of him dressed as Indiana Jones. He's got a hat on, and he's got a jean jacket on, and he's got some little statue from the basement that he found, some little gold statue, which is supposed to be some artifact. Anyways, we spent all afternoon in this field behind our house pressing down the grasses with some wood that we found, just some scrap wood, and made a maze through the grass to this tree that had fallen down. And it was kind of like a notorious tree because I think the summer before there was bees found in it and a whole bunch of people in the neighborhood got stung. But anyways, this tree was like the cave that Indiana Jones was going to go into. And so my brother set up this whole play Indiana Jones game, and it took hours and hours for us to press down all the grasses to make a pathway to this tree. And then we basically recreated the first scene of Indiana Jones, which is pretty thrilling for those people who remember the movie. But yeah, let me see. Yeah, he spent a lot of time and energy, and he had a big imagination. And I often smile thinking about all the times that we played with all the kids on our street, which was Clooney Place. And I know my brother smiles when he thinks about that as well. And then also with all the kids on Banbury. So my brother also loved animals. If you knew my brother, he just loved cats. Yeah, so we had Snowball and Patches and Gordy and Ringo. But I just wanted to tell you one story that you might not know, which is about the chicken that we had. So my brother went to this kindergarten, and I can't believe they did this, but they brought in an incubator and they hatched chicks in the kindergarten. And then the chickens grew up in the kindergarten, and then the chickens got transferred to shoe boxes. And so my brother had a chicken in his kindergarten class. It was called Chuck. And at the end of the year, the chickens were going to go somewhere, and my brother was really concerned about where these chickens were going to go. So he came home and he said, like, I just don't think that we can let that chicken get Kentucky Fried. And so he asked the teacher to, like, guarantee with a handshake that that was not going to happen, and she could not do that. And so we took this chicken home and we had it in our basement for a while, and also outside. But it was super loud. We didn't really know what we were getting into with this chicken. And so, yeah, we had a family meeting, and we decided we would give the chicken to Pioneer Village. And so, yeah, we took our chicken up to Pioneer Village, and then we got a season's pass to come and visit Chuck. Just to guarantee that he didn't go to a Kentucky Fried Chicken plant. But anyone who knows Scott knows that he loves Swiss Chalet later in life, so it's kind of... I guess the last story I want to tell you about was how much my brother loved music, which of course a lot of people here know. But my brother loved all kinds of music. I think the first music that he liked was, of course, my parents' records, and then top 40 music that we heard on the radio. When he was a skateboarder, he really liked a lot more punk rock. And he liked some Britpop too. But I'll probably never forget the phase of his life where he really liked breakdancing. It was like a really big thing. I can't remember if it was Friday night or Saturday night, but on the college radio station there was a show called The Funk Show. My brother would stay up for The Funk Show, and he would listen to The Funk Show religiously. He loved it because I think the music was super good for breakdancing. And at this, it was, eh? Okay.
Recorded all those shows. We had a huge tape log of every show.
Nice. So my brother loved to tape songs from this show, and this is the time where you had to put two ghetto blasters together to tape shows. Remember this in the late 80s? Yeah, so you'd have to play the music on the radio on one and tape it with the other one. And so I remember my brother taping Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, The Message, which this will mean something to some of you, but to some people it won't mean anything. But it's kind of... it's funny to me to think about this 12-year-old boy, this suburban white kid, walking around the house singing, songs about the plight of the inner city black man in New York in 1979. But when I was going through my brother's CDs, I didn't take too many because, we don't have that much space living in a small condo in Vancouver, but I did take a Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel CD to listen to The Message and think about my brother. Yeah. So yeah, my brother was kind of into hip hop early on, but yeah, he's liked so much music, different music since then. I just want to thank you all for coming out and remembering my brother. I'm going to miss him, and I have lots of love for him, and I have a lot of memories of him. And I just want to share with you, I think this is really hilarious that my dad made this podium here. Because my brother worked at AMP and he worked in dairy, so he really loved these milk crates. And so my dad whipped up this podium with a milk crate in honor of him. At the last minute, thanks, Dad. And I'd like to introduce Lauren, who is a good friend of Scott's. And Scott has known her since she was 3 years old, and she shopped at A&P and got to know him. If Lauren wants to come up and talk, come on, Lauren.
So, as you guys already know, my name is Lauren. I'm 13 years old. I met Scotty when I was 3, and so that would be 10 years ago. Like she said already, Opa and I would often go to A&P to shop for groceries and to visit him. Whenever I would come by, he would take a small break and grab us a couple of milk crates, and he'd get me a cookie, usually M&Ms, because that was my favorite. And so we would sit on the milk crates and eat our cookies, and I'd tell him about my day, or I'd sing him a song. So he was a very good friend of mine for many years. So at home, we have all our pictures on the computer in a loop. And when I suggested that I would sing this song today, a picture of him popped up. So I think he would have liked this song. So the song's called Une Colombe. It's a French song about a dove who flies around spreading peace and joy and love, which is how I think of our friend. Une colombe est partie en voyage. Autour du monde, elle porte son message de paix, d'amour et d'amitié, de paix, d'amour à partager. C'est sa jeunesse qui l'a fait voler. Une colombe est partie en voyage pour faire chanter partout sur son passage de paix, d'amour et l'amitié, la paix, l'amour, la vérité. Quand elle ouvre ses ailes, c'est pour la liberté. Elle vole, elle cherche le soleil, elle rêve de merveilles, elle espère arriver. Elle croit qu'il y a quelque part un pays pour l'espoir et qu'elle pourra le voir. Une colombe est partie en voyage. Autour du monde, elle porte son message de paix, d'amour et d'amitié, de paix, l'amour, la vérité. Et c'est sa jeunesse qui l'a fait voler. Une colombe est partie en voyage. Autour du monde, elle porte son message de paix, d'amour et d'amitié, de paix, d'amour à partager. Et c'est sa jeunesse qui l'a fait voler. Et c'est sa jeunesse qui l'a fait voler. So there's just one more thing. So, we have quite a few pictures of him and me as a kid. So my Opa went and got this one developed.
Thanks so much to Lauren. Isn't she amazing? 10 years when she was 3 years old. So there's a little story on Lauren. Oh, sorry. There's a little story on Lauren on one of the, on that standout board at the back. She wrote him a card when he was in hospital, remembering the time that they met and the years that they've been together. Yeah.
What a sweet gal. She is the donkey Shrek in the musical this year.
So Joan's going to come up and read a poem.
This is a little reading for Ken and Jean, and it's called for a parent on the death of a child. No one knows the wonder your child awoke in you, your heart a perfect cradle to hold its presence. Inside and outside became one as new waves of love kept surprising your soul. Now you sit bereft inside a nightmare, your eyes numbed by the sight of a grave no parent should ever see. You will wear this absence like a secret locket, always wondering why such a new soul was taken home so soon. Let the silent tears flow, and when your eyes clear, perhaps you will glimpse how your eternal child has become an unseen angel who parents your heart and persuades the moon to send new gifts ashore.
Thanks, Joan. Ooh, glasses. Oh, okay. So, I kind of made a mistake. They're not following up Lauren musically. I kind of am. So, should I just use this mic, I guess? Whatever you like. All right, so I'm going to do one of the weirdest... To say this is one of Scott's weirdest songs, it's weird, but it's, I think, ingenious. It needs a bit of a setup here because explains why I kind of chose this one. But he liked to read the Weekly World News, those tabloid magazines that you see when you're going through the checkout at A&P or Metro, whatever it is now. And there was an article called "Folks Call Me Stumpy," and there was a picture of a guy. He was a head, a hand, and a foot, and that's it. So he decided to write a song about it, but the song he wrote, technically he just read the article as written. But he read it really fast, and I'm going to do my best. But it's amazing. It seems like a simple thing, but first of all, I thought it was a brilliant idea, and second of all, once I decided to actually try to do it myself, I realized this isn't very easy. So as I mentioned, there's all his CDs of his music downstairs. So after this, you guys are all going to be like, oh, I want to grab the Folks Call Me Stumpy one. So there's going to be a mad rush. That's fine. These guys no one will be listening to them because anyway. So I'm going to do it word for word here. So. Folks call me Stumpy, man born with head, 1 foot and 1 hand, and nothing else. Oh my God, they've got the pictures to prove it. This is sick. I'll write a song about it. Okay, this next song is featuring Joey on guitars, and it's written by Beatrice Dexter of the Weekly World News, and it's called Folks Call Me Stumpy, the Ballad of Brave Buster Kirby. Well, brave Buster Kirby never let his life get him down, in spite of the fact that he was born with just 1 hand, 1 foot, and only a portion of a body. This courageous 21-year-old Canadian ignores his terrible handicaps to live life on his own, work as a writer, and pursue a fun-filled social life. He rustles up his own meals, zips around in an electric wheelchair, and even drives a specially equipped van. I lead a perfectly normal life, says Buster, whose cozy apartment is on the outskirts of Montreal. I don't feel like I'm anyone special. I happen to be born missing a few parts of my body, but I was blessed with a lot of things that other people miss. I was given devoted parents who encouraged me and loved me, I was given a certain amount of intelligence, and I was given the strength to put up with my disabilities. For me, coping has been easy because I've never known a different way of life. Well, Buster, who measures a tiny 2'1", was born in 1973 to a drug-addicted alcoholic mother. While doctors blamed his physical problems on his mother's substance abuse, and the boy was put up for adoption. When he was 2 years old, a loving elderly couple became Buster's mom and dad. The two passed away in 1991, leaving Buster on his own. Well, since then, the courageous cripple has lived alone in a studio apartment, writing freelance articles on his computer. When he isn't working, he pursues his favorite hobbies: skin diving, stamp collecting, and photography. Sure, people stare at me sometimes, says Brave Buster, but that doesn't bother me. I find that people forget that I'm special after a while, and there are plenty of gals around who will go out with me just like they would the next guy. In fact, I have a steady girlfriend right now who's hinting around about getting married. I'm not ready yet because I enjoy the footloose single life. But who knows, pretty soon I'm bound to settle down and have my own family. Buster, who dreams about someday writing a book about his life, says he consented to have his story told in the Weekly World News because he wants readers to know that having a handicap doesn't doom a person to an empty, meaningless existence.
That was amazing.
Thank you, Joey. Thanks. So now you guys are doing a Beatles?
Yes. So when I was really good friends with Scott, his favorite band, even years later, they've been gone since 1970, was the Beatles. And we drive around, and he'd be like, "Oh, have you heard this Beatles song?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have." He's like, "Oh, what about this one?" You know, he was so excited about it all the time. So we thought we would do 4 Beatles tunes for you. And we'll take a little break. So this is a song called Imagine.
There's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living You may say I'm a dreamer. Well, I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you care. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer. Well, I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one.
Just before you start,
Yes.
I want to tell you that the twins and Nicholas are here.
This is a little song by George Harrison. Yet again, still in the theme of the Beatles. But it was, I think, his first hit back in 1970. And after the second verse on this song, if you all want to sing Hallelujah at any given point, go to town.
my Lord. I really wanna see you, really wanna be with you, really wanna see you, Lord, but it takes so long, my Lord, my sweet Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Really wanna know you, really wanna go with you, really wanna show you, Lord, that it won't take long, my Lord. Hallelujah, my sweet Lord, my sweet Lord, my sweet Lord. I really wanna see you, really wanna see you, I really wanna see you, Lord, I really wanna see you, Lord, but it takes so long, my Lord. Hallelujah, my sweet Lord, hallelujah, my sweet Lord, hallelujah, my sweet Lord, hallelujah. My sweet Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. I really wanna know you, really wanna go with you, really wanna show you, Lord, that it won't take long, my Lord, my sweet Lord, my sweet Lord, hallelujah, my sweet Lord, hallelujah, my sweet Lord, hallelujah, my sweet Lord, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you.
There's a song called Let It Be. I know Scott always loved this song.
Myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, there is still a light that shines on me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music, and Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Thank you, folks. You're also very kind. It's amazing. We got one more Beatles song here, and then we are going to take a little intermission, and then we're going to have, I believe, some more speakers. Is that correct? Nice. A song called Across the Universe.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jagaru Deva, oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jagaru Deva, oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 The sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my opened ears, exciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. Jagaru Deva, oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jagaru Deva, Jagaru Deva, Jagaru Deva, Jagaru Deva.
Thanks, folks.
Okay, so before we get to a little more music, there was some of the best times of my life were spent hanging out in London with my friend Jacqueline, with Scott, and our other friend Rob, and some other friends as well. Rob was a good friend of Scott's, and he couldn't be here today. He really wanted to come. When Scott was in the hospital and Rob realized he couldn't come down to see him from Peterborough, he recorded a message for me to play for Scott, and so I played it for him, and of course it was very moving. Scott really liked it, and I think it was Jean that suggested that we can play it for all of you, and this, I guess, just tells you a bit about the impact that Scott had on other people, and in this particular case, just Rob. So I'm going to play it through this lovely device here, and hopefully it'll be loud enough. Let's see.
Thinking a lot about the period of time that we met, and I feel like it was a really important time in my life. Your creativity and positivity was very inspirational to me, and I've thought about you and it a lot over the years. I've been listening to your music again lately, actually, and it really makes me happy to listen to it. Also, I've been thinking about how we had discussions when we reconnected years later about the spirit and the body and what's really important in life. And I think the conclusion that I drew from those conversations, well, first of all, it really helped open me up to alternate ways of thinking about spirituality, and I want to thank you for that. I think the most important thing to me is love, the love that I share with the people in my life, and the love that I put into the things that I create. When I think of London and all the great friends that I made there, I always think of you. I want you to know that I love you, and I'll never forget you.
So that was Rob's friend, or Scott's friend Rob. And so now I'm going to pass it over to another one of Scott's good friends. He released more of Jacqueline's music than she released herself. So, yeah.
I didn't really prepare much to say, except that my friendship with Scott was all about music. We went through our Beatles phase together, as Joey was saying earlier, mono and stereo. I wouldn't be who I am today without having met him. I know that for sure.
Where's the Kleenex?
I think I'm crying because it's the gratitude. He's one of those people that shaped me.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I didn't really realize that as much as I had to over the past couple months. I mean, it didn't really come to the fore until realizing that he was transitioning, and it made me think about him a lot. And the one thing that really sent it home was, so Steve also asked if I would write a letter or send Scott some words while he was in the hospital, and I thought, screw that, I gotta write a song for this guy. It's all about songs and music. So I wrote a song as quickly as I could, and I composed it on my computer and put my perfectionist aside and sent it off because I didn't know. I wanted him to hear it. And when I sent it to Steve, I said, make sure he listens to it in headphones. And as Krista was saying, the detail-oriented, it's true. He was the one who taught me to listen to music in headphones because there's always details and things to listen for. So this song is a song that I wrote in order to have him be soothed in his last stage of life and to feel peaceful and calm about it. So, nothing is as it seems. This is not all there is. Amnesia set in, but don't forget. There is magic in dreams. There is only one you. And you are all there is. Confusion set in, but don't forget. There is freedom in dreams. Your life matters to me. Despite all the space and the time, the memories are old, but remember that we are eternal in dreams. La 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 Thank you for having Scott.
Thanks, Jacqueline. So, Paul, Robin, Nick, you're up.
The Cousins.
That's the name of their band, The Cousins.
While they get set up, and there is another cousin who's missing today, and that's Jeff, and he is son to Jim and brother to Chris, and he lives in California. So the twins, without Nicholas for many years, came up to London every October. My mom and dad lived here, and they came to Grandma's to celebrate their birthday. And we would go to Pizza Hut, and that was, and to the Children's Museum, and that was their big outing in London. And the older kids, Scott and Kristen, had jeans jackets in those days, and these little guys thought they would like jeans jackets. This was before Nick came along. And so I decided I would make them jeans jackets because I sewed all of Scott's jeans. He wouldn't wear ones from the stores because they were too hard. They had to be soft jeans. And so I set about knowing that the next time they came to visit, I would take out my pattern pieces and measure them up and find out what size they were. And so I lined them up, and I put these paper pattern pieces across their chest and down their arms, and said we were going to make them jeans jackets. And the one twin looked at the other one, and they looked back, and the spokesman of the two said, I think we've just decided we don't want the jeans jackets, because they thought they were going to be made of paper. I never thought to explain, because my kids knew when the paper came out, the dress or the jeans followed very shortly after. So that's the story about you guys.
Thanks. I remember the tactile sensation of the paper.
Paper.
Yeah, it feels it.
I have to tell you how honored Ken and I feel today, and Kristen, when I tell you that Rob, put up your arm, Rob, came from California last night to be here today, and Paul came from Berlin, Europe to be here today. So that's really very special. And Nick came from Toronto. But that was a feat today to come from Toronto.
I have the data plan that got us through Google Maps on the way here. So, I at least didn't know that the jean jackets weren't called that because you made them. I thought that's what jeans were things you made. Yeah. So we're going to do two songs. We're going to do one that Scott wrote. He didn't really know that when he sent us back to Oshawa with some of his tapes and CDs that I actually listened to them all and liked them quite a bit, some of the Chemical Orchestra and things like that. So we've prepared one piece by Scott, and then Paul's going to perform something on his handpan that he wrote. So this one, here we go. Because you love me unconditionally. You follow me wherever I go. You know you've always got a home. No, I would never leave you alone. I will always keep you well fed, give you some milk and a bed. Go on and rest your weary head. Here we go. I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. I love the sound of hearing you purr, and when you come home all covered in burrs, and I help you pick them out of your fur. You got a simple life with nothing much ass, just eat and sleep and lick your ass. God, it must be nice to be a cat. You just keep meowing to go out, and then you meow to come back in, and then you're meowing at the door to go back out again. Well, you know, my patience is wearing thin. Sometimes I wish you'd just shut up. But I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. the pale moonlight. I love the way you leave mouse guts and doorstep covered in flies. It smells real bad, but that's your way of saying you love me. You love me. That's just your way of saying you love me. Dead bird says, I love you. Mouse guts say, I love you. Bird intestines say, I love you. I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. Everyone sing. I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. I love you, Patches, 'cause you're my cat. Paul's gonna play a piece on his handpan that he wrote for Scott.
And they said, no, they're staying away from it.
My name's Paul. I don't exactly write songs on this instrument. I just sort of play what's there. So I'm going to play something. I've been thinking about Scott a lot lately when I play. He's been kind of dominating my moods for the last few months. So something I thought of about Scott that I want to share. First of all, I remembered when I was 12 and I was learning how to play drums on a family visit. He had the drum kit set up in his basement, and I went down and played a bit for him. And I was really new at it, just very beginner. But I guess I have, thanks. I was always tapping and playing rhythms my whole life, so even at that point, I guess it was starting to show that I had some kind of talent, I suppose. And he was really nice and encouraging. He saw that this was really important to me, that drumming and music was really important, and that even though I had a long way to go, it was something I cared about. And he said, that's really great. Keep doing that, and you're going to get somewhere with this. And looking back in my life, not many people have actually said things like that. It's such a pure thing to say to someone. And I have kept at it. I've played drums my whole life. It's taken me to this instrument, the handpan, now. So I want to thank you, Scott, for encouraging me. And something else I want to thank him for is for being fearlessly himself. I feel I don't know him as well as I wish I did, because we lived apart and far away, but at the same time, he's kind of opened up a space in my mind for what's possible in terms of self-expression, which has been really important to me as I kind of try and figure out who I am. And I so much respect for him, for living life on his own terms. So thanks again for that one too, Scott. So this thing I'm going to play, whatever it is, I want to dedicate it to Jean and Ken, and especially my dear friend Kristen.
So when you guys talk to the people who already left, you tell them what you just saw. And they still won't believe it. All right. The Peace and Love Band's going to perform a few more songs for us.
Check one, hey.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not around, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you. Pride, if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let you. You just call on me, brother, you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem, you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry, up the road, I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. Scotty.
So we had a couple requests from Gene and Ken. Well, most of them, they were like, if you could play these songs, that would be great. So we learned a bunch of stuff. And there was a couple of them that I was like, oh, okay. You know, I wasn't, I was kind of surprised by them, but I guess these are some of Scott's favorites when he was a kid. Here we go. You Are My Sunshine. If you know the lyrics, sing along. All these songs we kind of made our own as well, so they're not exactly like the originals.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and I cried. Everybody now. Everyone knows the words. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please, oh, sunshine away. This is Jean's song she sang to Scott. So we're all going to sing it to Scott, who's in the room right now, as well as to Jean. And Jean's going to help us. Next verse. 1, 2, 3. I'll always love you and make you happy if you will only say the same. But if you leave me to love another, you'll regret it all one day. Everybody, here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Sorry. One more time, here we go. Everyone together. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Last time, here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away.
We're going to give it up to all you, because that was fantastic. I'm going to hire each and every one of you. Okay, we got one more song here for everyone. Thank everyone. Let's all clap for Scott. We all love Scott. Let's give him a big round of applause. He's here. He's bowing right here in front of all of us. You know. One more song here. Thank you all so much. And just to let you know, you like the shirts? These were Scott's. And this song here, it turned out one of Scott's family members ended up passing on at a certain point, and he ended up singing this song. Was it to his aunts? His grandmother. And yeah, so we were asked to sing this song as well for Scott. So thank you all very much. To the last song.
shadows taller than our soul. There walks a lady we all know, who shines white light and wants to show. And if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last. When all the one and one is all, yeah, to be a rock and not to roll. And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
Thank you, everyone. We are the Peace and Love Band. We are Scotty's band. Have a great day. Thank you all for coming from the bottom of our hearts.
I really, really miss Scott for the last 8 weeks, and now I realize how much more I miss him and how much there is of him to miss. He was just larger than life, as you've seen here this afternoon. I have to thank these 4 guys, including Steve here. They stepped up and offered to do this, and it just blew me out of the water. Thank you all so much for coming and sharing in our afternoon of love with Scott. Our love-in, yeah, it was a love-in. And certainly stay around. We're not heading out. If you want to have a look at some of the artwork and pieces that are up, there are artworks leaning up against the window, and if anybody is so inclined, please take them. We have 50 more at home, so we won't miss them at all. Scott was obsessive about things when he got to them. Good. I have to remember Kristen talking about his attention to detail, and I've gone through some of the report cards. I found that, treasures, school day treasures little book, and it said amazing attention to detail, imagination beyond. Could be better at paying attention in class and doing his schoolwork. And about 7 or 8 years ago, Ken and I went to one of the country music places, and they had a Beatles display had come in for a couple of weeks, and they had John Lennon's report card on display under glass, and I read it and cracked right up, and I said, Ken, come over here and read this. And he read it, and he turned to me and he said, where did they get Scott's grade 5 report card? It was hilarious, yeah. And John Lennon was his hero of all time. And I could go on and on forever, but I won't. I just want to make sure that you all get some food and drink before you leave, and that you stay and talk with each other. We're not in a hurry to be out of here. And Ken, I think, is going to say something.
I didn't get a chance to speak, actually, so I'm going to take about an hour. I wrote a little bit about Dave Scott in the last little while, and what I wrote about is what I'm going to miss when Scott, of course, now gone. And I started writing, I said, I'm going to miss your daily phone calls to check in, because he always would come in the morning, and probably late afternoon he'd call and say hello, and how are you doing? How was your day? What did you do today? Did you win your curling game? Did you play good golf? All that stuff. So he was always interested in my welfare, and I really appreciated that. Of course, I'm going to miss him every Sunday and Thursday, because he would come over for dinner. Certainly, definitely for turkey on the special days like Christmas, Thanksgiving, or the holidays. Especially on Mother's and Father's Days, because he always gave us a handmade creative card, which we always keep, and I probably got a dozen of them in my dresser drawer. It's just awesome. We're going to miss his choice of music that he always put on while we were there, while we were having dinner. Also going to miss our annual walks in Westminster Park and Fanshawe Park, along with our canoe excursions both in Fanshawe Lake and St. Mary's Reservoir. I miss his laughter and his sense of humor when we were together. I would miss him caring for nature. No matter where we went, You either be feeding the ducks or feeding the squirrels or whatever. And of course, he was a real cat person. And Ringo, of course, was staying with him the last few days. And after Scott passed, I looked after Ringo probably for the last 3 or 4 months. And we finally got him adopted out to a beautiful woman who's just adored him. And we were really happy for that as such a... But most of all, I'm going to miss him for one thing. I'm going to miss his warm hugs and say, as he says to me, "I love you, Dad," whenever we parted. He was such a caring and engaging soul, never taking more than he needed, and I'll always be proud to say I'm Scott's dad. God bless you, Scott, and peace be with you. I want to close just by reading a short poem. This is really coming from Scott. To those who love and those who love me. When I am gone, release me, let me go. I have so many things to see and do. You mustn't tie yourself to me with tears. Be happy that we had so many years. I gave you my love. You can only guess how much you gave me in happiness. I thank you for the love each have shown, and now it's time I travel alone. So grieve a while for me, if grieve you must, but let your grief be comforted by trust. It's only for a while that we must part, so bless the memories within your heart. I won't be far away, for life goes on, so if you need me, call and I will come. Though you can't see me or touch me, I'll be near, and if you listen with your heart, you'll always hear all my love around you, soft and clear. And then when you must come this way alone, I'll greet you with a smile and welcome home. Thank you. Boy, I want to thank these nice shirted guys for all the great music. Awesome guys, awesome. What a great tribute to Scott. Perfect. Anyway, eat up, guys, and enjoy and tell a few stories if you can. If you want to come up here and tell a story, that's great too. Thanks very much.